Hello everyone. It's James again, with a video to address the question: is it okay to take a person you suspect to be a narcissist back once you have broken up? Now I must state, though I represent men who are abused.com, this video can be helpful for both men and women, as both men and women can equally find themselves in toxic relationships. Now back to the question at hand. Is it okay to take back a toxic spouse, or someone that you think may have narcissistic personality disorder? And I say think for a very important reason. The reason is that if they show you these red flags or signs in your relationship with them, the chances they have a serious problem is extremely high. So you should not second guess they have a problem. You do not have to be a medical professional to know something is really wrong with another human being based on their toxic behavior. However, they may have similar problems like borderline personality disorder, or they might be a full-blown psychopath, or another problem that is closely related to these. And the truth is you will never find out exactly what it is. So do not knock yourself out trying to pinpoint exactly what it is, as most doctors can't do this either, because if someone like this goes to therapy, they will lie so much in therapy it will become impossible for the doctor to know what is true and what is not, thus not being able to know themselves the correct name of the problem they really have. Most of the time doctors that can get the diagnosis correct is when they have someone that has dealt with such a person, such as a close friend or relative, fill in the blanks and provide detailed information about the person in question. And this rarely happens, as the person in question rarely gives such permission for an outside person to give such information. So why is all of this important to the question of taking back a suspected narcissist or not? It's important as we start to second guess ourselves. Even though our gut is telling us this person more than likely has a serious problem, many people second guess this gut reaction, thinking to ourselves, what if I am wrong because I am not a doctor? How can I know what's going on? This is the worst mistake anyone can make, because you have to realize that even a doctor can barely tell you what this person has because of the sheer amount of lies they tell. And most good professionals will tell you, if you see the red flags in front of your face that fits with a certain problem, even if you are not 100% accurate in the description, you are more than likely in the ballpark. And if you are in the ballpark, that is all you need to know there is a serious problem. So sadly, the second guessing allows us to get sucked right back into the web of the toxic abuser. This brings me to the answer of, should you take back someone you suspect is a narcissist, or has a problem similar? And the answer is a big fat no way in hell should you ever take back a person that has these types of problems. The reason is these types of personality disorders are not curable. They can be treatable, but that requires the person in question to tell the truth and be willing, which 9 times out of 10 does not happen. What does happen is this toxic person will tell the victim whatever sweet thing they think the victim wants to hear. Now let me back up a moment. There is a saying that narcissists will never apologize. This can be true for the most part. However, if this toxic person has something to gain, they will profess how sorry they are, and how they have made an amazing change. This can be because they stand to gain money, power, or their victim back. Because remember, to them, the most important thing is to always have a victim on hand so they can get their narcissistic supply. An example, however, where a toxic type will leave with no apologies nor try to get you back, is when they feel they do not need you anymore, which means they found a better source of narcissistic supply, and maybe someone with more things for them to gain by being with them, such as fame, money, power, and so on. But if they do not have this option, they will shower you with fake apologies to get you back together with them, so they can once again gain control over the relationship. You have to realize something. Leaving a narcissist, or another toxic type of person, is something they take as an attack to their very being of who they are as a person. An attack that must be paid back with some sort of revenge. So they aren't just giving you apologies just to get you back to maintain their narcissistic supply. Though this is a very important reason for getting you back. It's not the only one. The other reason is to get you back under their control so they can exact revenge against you at a later date for trying to break up with them in the first place. You have to understand, as they are begging you to come back to them, they are already plotting their revenge against you. There is a saying that if your dog escapes through your fence and down the street, once captured, you will build a bigger fence, so it will be twice as hard for your dog to escape next time. The same can be said about the narcissist and victim relationship. This toxic person will execute the perfect plan to get you wrapped up in financial entanglements with them, such as purchasing a home together, or business deals, or marriage, or they will convince you to stop divorce proceedings. And then once you are in a legal bind, a bind you cannot easily get out of, they will start to exact their revenge on you. It can be in the form of verbal and emotional abuse, physical abuse, or destruction of your property. And it can be in the form of cheating on you. All of this in their mind is justified payback for you figuring them and their behaviors out, and trying to leave them to begin with. You see, I have talked to many people that have said, "James, I wished I had listened. I took them back and now my life is a mess. They took my money, my kids, and ruined my credit. And now they are the ones filing for divorce, trying to paint me out to be the villain. They say, James, I had the chance to run, but I fell for their tricks and now I'm paying the price." You see, these toxic types all have one thing in common. They do not possess empathy for others, which is a loose way of saying they have no conscience for the bad things they do. But they sure can fake they have one. However, when they show this side to us, and we get that gut instinct to leave, we stay. You have to understand something. Someone with no empathy or a conscience can lie and cry at the right moments, and have no emotion or feeling about doing something underhanded such as this. Actually, getting away with such acts makes them feel smart and powerful. And they look at people like the victim that falls for it as a sucker. They think of people that have a high amount of empathy and compassion for others as being weak and stupid. So taking back a person like this is the same as letting a con artist come back into your home to con you again. There is an old saying, "You can tell a tree by its fruits." So just because they are saying they are now a good tree does not mean they are. Because all you have to do is remember the rotten fruit they have produced, or their actions. So if they produce rotten fruit, or actions, thus they must be a rotten tree with bad roots. But what if there was one good apple on the tree when you first noticed this tree? Well, just use simple logic. If even there are 2 good apples on a tree with a bunch of rotten fruit, it would still be considered a rotten tree. This analogy is very important, because oftentimes we look back on a few good times we had with this person for our reasons and taking them back. But in reality we should not be looking at these few items, but we should be looking at the big lot of rotten treatment and toxic behavior that is displayed. So is it a good idea to take a narcissist back in your life? No way, as this 99% of the time will put the victim in a worse position than they were in to begin with. With that said, knowledge is power. The more we know, the more we can help protect ourselves against the tricks of such people trying to re-enter our lives. Until next time. Bye for now. And be good to yourself.